I'm going to make this video here because I'm not quite certain as whether or not my comment will be approved. We'll find out by the time the video is done. This is in response to Edward P.F.'s video. But anyway, here's my comment. Wow, Edward, I can't believe that I'm hearing you say this. This is totally incorrect and a very foolish and dangerous thing for you to be teaching. You could cause many to stumble from this, and the Lord will hold you accountable. I suggest you employ... I suggest you employ 1 John 1:9 to yourself at this point and remove this video. And here's what this video is. Christian remarriage after a divorce. What he's suggesting is totally incorrect. Listen, when it says in Matthew 19:9, a lot of people goof this up. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication. See, this is one of those kind of interesting things. The Lord wasn't trying to deceive anyone. The Lord speaks absolute truth, and his words are perfectly formed. As King James Bible believers realized, and God preserved his word in just the way that it was spoken. This does not have this in parenthetical, except it be for fornication. It's not in parentheses here. Otherwise, you could also read it as whosoever shall put away his wife and shall marry another, except it be for fornication. This is not an exclusion thing. This whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, that goes with whosoever shall put away his wife. Because you're not supposed to put away your wife at all, except it be for fornication. But then, if that happens, heaven forbid, because there was fornication, I'm sorry, but you can't marry. And you know what? It makes sense, because what's our command? Our only command as men is to love our wives. If we love our wives, as Christ loved the church, they won't want to leave. They won't want to leave and run off to somebody else. So if somebody does do that, it's the man's fault. Very likely. I mean, not to say in every case, but very likely it's the man's fault because he wasn't loving his wife. He gave a reason somewhere or another to run off. There's nothing excusing the woman that might do that. But anyway, what the Lord's saying here is both are committing adultery. If you put away your wife and marry another, committeth adultery. How is that difficult to understand? It's not hard to understand at all, especially if you ask the Lord. Whosoever shall put away his wife and marry another committeth adultery. You're not excluded if they had fornication. There's nothing. I mean, it says right in that passage too, what God hath joined together, let no man put asunder. So what? Now it's okay? You're going to negate this part of it here? God hath joined it together. You can't tear it apart and then, ask the Lord to forgive you. And what's with that anyway? He's suggesting that if you employ 1 John 1:9 and confess, well, what's the guy if he's been wronged by a cheating wife or vice versa? What have they done wrong? What do they have to confess? Oh, I'm sorry, I had a lousy wife or a lousy husband that cheated on me. Well, yeah, you should recognize the fact that you failed and ask the Lord to forgive you because you caused your spouse to run off, very likely. But anyway, this is wrong. This is absolutely wrong and very disappointing. And I'll only put this video up if Edward cuts me off, as he's done with other things that I've gone to him about. Or if I'm blocked, which we'll find out here in just a moment. Because I have stood up with other things that he's had that's been wrong. And he just shuts me up. Isn't it amazing? This guy will give all the time of day and go on and on and on with this foolish user. he'll never cut them off. He'll just keep going on and on and on, causing, fighting with somebody who's very likely unsaved in the first place. And then that Laburum guy, that dude's a Catholic guy and unfortunately very likely not a believer at all. Yet, just gives those guys all the time in the world. But somebody who's trying to help him out here. Meaning me. Because I have tried to help Ed a number of times, and he's just like the Pharisees that wouldn't listen to Stephen. They stop their ears, they say, we don't need to listen to you. So let's see what we get here. The other way I'll put this up, if he wants to make a big firestorm over it, or, cause a big hoo-ha stink, I'm really guessing I know who he's making this video for. And it's like the only other person that I've cared to make a point of on this channel. And that's another thing that poor Edward's been unruly about. Won't listen. Won't take the suggestion of a brother who actually cares for him. Meaning me. His old Ed and I used to be good buds. I made videos on my iCartoon 2 channel about him. Talked about how the Lord, brought us together. Well, then he listened to one who is a whisperer and separateth chief friends, as it says in God's Word. And he decided to break fellowship with me because of the nonsense that he was hearing behind the scenes, which is, once again, not the thing that we're supposed to do. You don't chit-chat behind the scenes with other folks. If they're telling you something, you go to the person and you try to help them. And so anyway, that's what I'm trying to do here. Trying to help Ed, even after I post the video or the comment, and then we'll see, what the response is. Like I say, if this video goes up, it's only because apparently I tried to reprove a scorner. And that's disappointing to have to say.